Warning: Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
So what I'm saying now is that you're going to have this massive influx of immigrants into the country that are better equipped. They don't have your legacies. They don't have your disadvantages. They're walking across the border. They're going to get a free lunch. They don't have to pay dues. But you got public policies in this country that are equating them to black folk. They're equating them to black, and what we've allowed them to do starting in 1970 is to wrap themselves in black folks' suffering and pretend somehow they suffered along with black folk. And therefore, whatever program is created under this misguided label called minority, that they are equal to you and over you. And we're going to deal with that whole concept of minority in a few minutes too.
What it do, family and friends? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that needs to hear. And trust me, today there's going to be a lot of ears that need to hear this. And if you have not done so yet, please click that link in the description, go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. And with that being said, family, first and foremost, let me give you my apologies for being a little tardy. And I want to lay this on you guys. And shout out to my sister Aquarius Minded, because, you know, I appreciate you not rushing the host. For all those who don't know, a lot of the times when foundational Black Americans get on this microphone and hit the record or hit the stream or hit the broadcast button, 9 times out of the 10, there's going to be some sort of technical difficulties, because it only happens to the pro-Black commentators. It only happens to us because that's what they do on the back end. So I appreciate everybody who has patience, and for everybody who didn't have patience, maybe now that you know that, you might have a little bit more patience in the future. Not saying that you guys were trying to rush me off or nothing like that. I'm just saying it because of the fact that this is a reality of being in the new Black media. This is a reality of being a foundational Black American who speaks for their people. That's just what it is, you know, and we're going to have to, you know, take that into account, because it does hinder a lot of us from time to time, especially when we hit that red button, like, okay, we're ready to go. Everything starts messing up right when you hit it. So much love to everybody who's here, everybody for being patient. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really love and respect each and every one of you. So no, I would never play with your time, and nobody in the new Black media would. So with that being said, we're moving forward on this, because we have a lot to speak about today. And it's not even going to be a long bar burner, but it's going to be a barn burner. I'm not going to hold you guys too long, because, you know, I made sure to cut the fat. I didn't want, you know, everybody to have to deal with all the fat in the situation. No, we're going to really just get to it. So with that being said, before we do that, got to do one thing and one thing first. First and foremost, got to give a shout out to everybody in the chat and everybody who took the time to be here. First and foremost, salute, B1 salute certified. Shalom and much love to our family. Miss Nisi, aka Hurricane Nisi, in the building. Stolen Ancestors, my sister, is in the building. My sister Aquarius Minded, once again, in the building. Much love to you, sister. Quasi Black Stars, much love and salute to you, family. It's in the building. Get it. Eddie Foster, much love to you. Thank you for being here, family. He is in the building, cooking with Miss D, my sister. Shout out to you for being in the building, not just for being in the building, but for, you know, hitting me in the DMs earlier today and trust me, anybody who wants to send me stuff, please make sure that you do so. You can send it either to my Instagram, you can send it to my Twitter if we're mutuals on Twitter. But if not, you can send anything you want to send to me over to the Church of Black Power at gmail.com. Salute to our family, Black Are You. Shout out to you, family. Thank you for being here. Let's make sure we know our brother Reparations Nation is in the building. Salute to you. Andrea Jones, my sister, salute to you. Thank you for being here. Willie McKinley, my brother, thank you for being here, family. Miss L, nice to see you. Thank you for being here, my sister. Much love to you. Let's see. Want to make sure I got everybody. Tasting Teas with Tony, my sister. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. DSA1, thank you for being here, family. Patricia A. Jones, salute to you, my sister. Thank you for being here. And my sister Astarte Jones is also in the building. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna start calling y'all the Jones sisters. Let's see what we got going on. Let's make sure we got everybody. Until You Do Right, salute to you, family. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. You know, that's one of my favorite names. Until you do right by me, everything you do will fail. Let's continue. Let me make sure I got everybody. Family, Breeze Omega is in the building. Salute to you, family. Thank you for being here. Let's make sure we got everybody. My brother Wild Williams is in the building. Salute to you, and thank you for being here. AB, thank you for being here. Salute to you, as well as Sherelle Bryant. Salute to you, and thank you for being here, family. Want to make sure I got everybody. John Son, my brother, thank you for being here. Salute to you as well. And our good brother AO is in the building. Salute to you. And also, shalom and salute to our brother Reef is in the building. Want to make sure Retro Gemini 99 is in the building. Salute to you, family, and our sister I Am Key Evra. Salute and shalom to you, family. Let me just make sure we got through here. Brandon Dumas, salute and shalom to you. Thank you for being here, family, as well as our sister Priscilla Taylor. Shalom and salute to you. Thank you for being here, family. And our brother Damon Reeves is in the building. Shalom and salute to you, family. Thank you for being here. And a special shalom and salute to everybody who's not in the chat, but who will be watching this in the replay, and those who just aren't in the chat, who are watching right now. Now, family, in the words of our sister Aquarius, the doors of the church are now open. We got some things to talk about today, family. Today, we are putting the nail in the coffin. We're putting the final nail, that is, into the coffin. It deserves to be there. We've been holding on to this nail for a second because there was something special that was supposed to happen, and we just didn't know what it was. And now, we've been seeing exactly what we've been holding that final nail for, and we're sticking that nail into that coffin, and we're hammering that damn thing down as hard as we can. Because trust me when I say, this coffin needs to be buried, and we're seconds away from the burial. Let's just be 100 with it. Gotta be 100. Shalom and salute to our brother Rasheed Wallace. Thank you for being here, family, as well as Brass. Hold on. Burnish Brass, my brother. Thank you for being here, family. I appreciate you. Now, in my last broadcast, family, if you remember, we spoke about the AU and everything. We're going to be diving a lot deeper into the AU today. And today, I got to give a certified B1 salute to our brothers and sisters out in DC on the Hill who found it necessary to send me a bunch of information about what's going on. So today, family, we're naming names. Oh, yeah, we're pointing fingers in the word of our good brother. God dang it, I don't know why I just had a space on this. We'll come back to that. Still, I'm going to give a salute to our brother because, God dang it, once I put his drop in here, it's going to remind me. Eric Mays, god dang it, thank you. Salute to Eric Mays, because today we're naming names. See, it hit me in the heart and the mind, because there's just so much that I've been reading, so much I've been going through today. And family, today is the day that you need to have your notebook. You need to have a pen, and you need to be taking down names, because we're going to put a face to each and every one of these people that's been pushing some things that shouldn't have been pushed in the first damn place. But before we get there, we got to start off in California, because it's attached to California, and we're going to have to really speak on some things. So family, let's get to it. Let's go there. Let's get it started like a Black Eyed Peas song. We're going to start off with this just as a recap of what happened in California and why we've all been literally holding a lot of these folks in California feet to the fire. Yeah, there's a lot that needs to be addressed with this. So we're going to start off here.
Harsh words for Governor Gavin Newsom tonight from leaders in the state's Black community. They say they are fed up with the lack of progress on reparations for Black slavery. 17's Capitol correspondent Eitan Wallace joins us now with their message and how the governor's office is responding.
Reparations. Now.
This group of Black leaders from across California making their voices loud and clear outside the governor's office in Los Angeles. They argue he has not done enough to advance reparations for descendants of enslaved Black Americans.
I am disappointed that key reparation bills have been stalled or blocked.
They say they're specifically frustrated after members of the California Legislative Black Caucus last month opted not to advance 2 reparations bills by Senator Stephen Bradford, including one that would have created the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency in charge of overseeing the reparations process in the state, and another that would have funded future reparation-related policies approved by the legislature and governor. This was the scene inside the state capitol last month when members of the community found out the Black Caucus would not advance Senator Bradford's 2 bills. Caucus leaders announced they made that decision after the Newsom administration wanted to make changes to the legislation to turn it into a 2-year study looking into how reparations could work in California. But Camila Moore, who chaired the California Reparations Task Force for the last 2 years, says the task force already did that, submitting this 1,100-page report of reparations recommendations to the governor and legislature.
The time for studies is over.
For its part, Governor Newsom's office points out just last week he signed several of the Black Caucus's priority reparations bills into law, including one requiring grocery stores to notify communities before they close down, and another creating a formal apology letter from the state of California to descendants of enslaved Black Americans. But those here say, for now, they're skeptical.
An apology without material reparations not only fails, but exasperates harm. We demand a public apology after reparations, real reparations, are enacted.
Critics have pointed out the state cannot afford direct cash payment reparations, but Senator Bradford argues reparations are about more than just cash payments, and he wants to see action now.
I want reparations to be meaningful, substantive, tangible, ongoing health care, continued education, first-time home buyers assistance, small business loans assistance. That's what reparations should be about.
The governor's office vows Newsom is committed to reparations, referring us to these remarks he made earlier this year.
We are deeply mindful of what will come next in partnership with the Black Caucus, and the work continues in that space.
And in a statement, the Legislative Black Caucus stressed it's important to remain patient with the reparations process. Quote, "We have always emphasized this is a multi-year effort, and we are excited to continue this important work next year and in the years to come."
Sorry, family. My mic was muted. Family, I remember telling you guys when we was talking about Al Sharpton, the agent of white supremacy, when he was talking about it's gonna take some time, but we're in the fight, and this fight don't just end with us. It's gonna take some time. No. Every time you hear that, family, know they're an op. Period. Because it don't take no time for nobody else to get any type of benefits. These folks want to go study after study after study after study, when they don't do study for nobody else. They ain't did no study for the illegals. They ain't did no study for the Ukrainians. They ain't did no study for the so-called Jews, the top hat community. They did no study for nobody else, but they want us to continuously be in this loop circle of a study. And we're not here for any of that. Like the family has made very, very clear, there's no more time for studies. We don't need no more studies, and we're not accepting no more studies. Salute to our brother Edward Jones is in the building. We got 3 Joneses in the house at the same time. Salute to each and every Jones in the building today. I want to give a shout out, but I'm just gonna put your name on the screen because I don't want to say this wrong, family. Kuwatrat, Kuwatrat. Please don't hold that to my head. Hold it to my heart. I apologize for not knowing how to pronounce that, but much love and respect to you. Thank you for being here, family. So, family, Kurat. Shout out to you, family. Thank you for the pronunciation correction. Thank you very much, family. Much love to you, and thank you for being in the building. Now, nobody else, like I was saying, has to go through any type of studies, and we've known this for a long time. I want to remind you what it looked like when we were in there fighting for California reparations.
Free men, no vote, Democrat, no vote, Democrat, Republican. Foundational Black Americans want their reparations.
So long want their reparations. Foundational Black Americans, so long, aid us. We all want reparations.
Gotta give a certified B1 salute to our sister, Nikki the God. Here's the thing. When we're out here fighting for reparations, everybody got some sort of way to divert it. Divert it left, divert it right. Everybody's diverting it. But when it comes down to a bunch of illegals in the same state, the very same state, all of a sudden, there's no type of studies that need to be done. There is no blockage. There is nobody sitting there disrespecting them. No. They want to get straight to the bag. Y'all remember when the so-called mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, went out there capping for all those illegals? Let's get here.
So I am going to say,
Mayor Bass, I need to get my phone. We're departing.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mayor Bass. Mayor Bass.
Mayor Bass.
Oh my
Any
God.
comment, Mayor Bass?
Thank you.
Mayor Bass, any comment?
Yes, my comment is they need to leave, and they need to leave right now. They need to leave because this is unacceptable.
Who did you speak with?
Just wait and see.
Mayor Bass,
They will be leaving soon.
Mayor Bass, who did you speak with on the phone just now? Who did you speak with on the phone?
I had a customer.
Oh, so she was willing to jump on the phone with the head of customs about the deportations, but she didn't, never, not once, feel it in her heart, the need to jump on the phone with any of the wardens at any of the county prisons or state prisons in California whatsoever. Did she? Not never. Not never. This woman is a low down dirty shame. And I ain't talking about the movie. This woman is literally showing you her allegiance. And I'm not surprised by it. I'm not. And I'm also not surprised that she tried to slide a quick one over into the illegal spectrum. Salute to Oprah Ivory. Thank you for being here, my sister. Much love to you. B1 salute. Now, let's go here.
Karen Bass on paying illegal immigrants.
We also are going to have a reinstitution of the Angelino card, something that Mayor Garcetti started during COVID that will actually provide cash assistance to people. Because, you know, you have people who don't want to leave their homes, who are not going to work, and they are in need of cash.
Pause. Family, Family, this woman is talking about giving out cash cards to the illegals because they're afraid of going outside and getting deported in a state that they shouldn't be in a country that they shouldn't be in because they're illegal. So she is now funding illegal activity while the foundational Black Americans in the state who are owed reparations due to all the atrocities that took place. Oh no, you don't get reparations, but these illegals without a study, without a thought process in place is able to not just get a cash card, but also they're trying to push, and I've already spoken about this before, they're also trying to push a halt on rent for these people. This is where the Democrats have been coming from for some time now. And after this broadcast today, not only will scam Africanism have a nail in the coffin, but also the Democratic Party for each and every single thing that they've been doing behind our backs for the past decade that we didn't even know about. For the past, more specifically, the past 3 or 4 years that we didn't even know about, that they were out here trying to push without our say-so. And they're supposed to be our representatives. After the day, family, if you voting for the Democratic Party and they're not offering you tangibles in writing, you are the damn fool. None of the people that are here, of course, because we're all the intelligent. We're all the people that's been saying this for some time. We all had that feeling before we had confirmation. We've all been saying this with our full chest. So shout out to each and every one of you. But all the things that I've gotten in an email today that I've been reading, family, that amplified me times 10. I was going to do this broadcast specifically on Karen Bass today. But the Most High saw fit to send the family. And each and every one of you was sending me all kinds of stuff, especially the family in DC on the Hill. Much love to you, because we're going to get into these folks today. After today, scam Africanism is over, as well as the Democratic Party, period and point in black. Let's let this continue.
So if you came here illegally and then you committed another crime, just hang tight. We're going to give you a little cash to hold you over so you don't have to come out of your house.
This is looking insurrectionist. We're going to pay you to break the law. We are not only going to tell you not to follow the federal law, federal immigration law. Now we're going to pay you to stay at your home and hide from the authorities that are enforcing laws that are nationwide. If they were against these laws, they should go through the legislative process and try to pass laws that say we're against federal immigration and we want open borders. But they're not doing that. They're paying people to break the law.
I want to put this video up, and here's some of it right here, Ron. But this video you see where you've got this marijuana farm. You see them throwing rocks at the officers. They were firing guns, the protesters, at these ICE agents. I just want your take as somebody who was kind of in this industry. What's your take on what you're seeing here?
Well, it's ridiculous. It's dangerous. Those officers that are having rocks thrown right at their head through the side window of those vans.
Shout out to Star Child and our family hood servative. Thank you for being here, family. I was going to talk about this in a whole different live, this actual situation here with the illegal children being on marijuana farms working and stuff. However, we're going to touch on that in another broadcast as well, but it only made sense to put this in this today. In case you didn't know, there are a lot of illegal children working on marijuana farms in California. Gavin Newsom has said nothing. Gavin Newsom has said nothing. Neither has Karen Bass. But let's let it continue.
That's attempted murder. That's assault. And they showed great restraint in not firing to preserve their lives or to preserve grievous bodily injury, preserve their.
Do you see what's happening here, family? Once again, you have one of these illegals shooting shots, shooting the pum-pum at ICE. Let me replay that so you guys can see what's going on.
That's assault. And they showed great restraint in not firing to preserve their lives or to preserve grievous bodily injury from happening to them. And so this is what the left brings you. The rhetoric that calls these people Nazis, the rhetoric that says people are being kidnapped, the rhetoric that says being in the country illegally is not a crime is all wrong. Yeah. And it's causing these activists to be emboldened in cases like this.
Now, family, I want y'all to take note. This is how they react when the illegals are doing wrong. Shooting shots and things like that, throwing rocks.
News alert, we're following a massive clash shaping up outside of LA. Federal agents shutting down an illegal cannabis farm staffed by migrants, but hordes of resistors showed up to fight. Agents had to deploy tear gas to clear the road. The standoff has been going on for hours, and feds had to resupply federal agents who were boxed in. The U.S. Marshals were called in for backup, and they've arrested a handful of agitators. One of the protesters was found to be carrying a gun. So far, at least 3 people have been hospitalized. ICE needs more manpower. The big, beautiful bill will give it to them, but in the meantime, these agents are out on an island. News alert, we're...
Shout out to our family, Retro Gemini 99, because this comment embodies everything that I'm about to show in the next clip. They can show restraint against them, but let us have a wallet in our hands and be unarmed. They fear for their lives. I'm so glad. Much love to you, family, and shout out to you for leaving that comment, because that was the perfect segue into the very next clip. Shout out and shalom to our family. Casey Malone, thank you for being here, family. Yeah, check this out. When it's a black person, oh, the stakes aren't the same. Check this out, family.
Sorry about that.
In the very same city that Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom have been telling their officers to stand down, don't allow your anger to push you into an area that'll get you in trouble. They're not telling them to have the same energy for people who are actually United States citizens. They're not. They're not telling them to have the same energy for foundational Black Americans, the people who built this country. They're not. So when we have this situation going on in Los Angeles, I've said this several times over, but I'm going to say this again. This right here violates the 14th Amendment, family. This is a violation of the equal protection under the law that we're supposed to have. Every sanctuary city that allows the police to go after and demonize and unalive foundational Black Americans, but then turn around and tell them not to do nothing to the goddamn illegals, they're breaking the law. Now, sanctuary cities aren't illegal under the Constitution because the Constitution says that the federal government cannot force local governments to enforce its laws. Okay, fine. But it becomes illegal whenever you allow discriminatory law enforcement. That is illegal. That is against the 14th Amendment, equal protection under the law. And now that I've said that, now that I put that out into the universe, hopefully Donald Trump will hear that amplified and decide to actually go after sanctuary cities, since he's been listening to us all this time and going after all the things we've been talking about anyway. We've been literally being held in a position with these Democratic cities in the same position that the Republican cities have been holding us in. They use the courts just like the Democrats use the courts. Here's the difference, though. The Democrats use the courts while playing in our faces, while allowing law enforcement to be gentle and kind and not do anything to a bunch of illegals who's not supposed to be in the country at all. But when it comes to us, it's fair game. That is biased law enforcement. That is discriminatory law enforcement. It is against the 14th Amendment, and that needs to be addressed. And while she's running around here giving out cash cards to a bunch of illegals, that's also against the 14th Amendment, because guess what, family? The number one, and I say number one, demographic of people who are homeless in California are foundational Black Americans. Los Angeles, Black residents experience homelessness at a disproportionately high rate compared to their representation in the general population. While they make up roughly 9% of the city's population, they constitute approximately 34% of the homeless population. This disparity is significant. This disparity is significant. Concerns and being actively addressed, they're saying actively addressed by various family. There is no initiatives being goddamn proposed for this for foundational Black Americans at all. Because all the damn initiatives are being pushed for the illegals in California. That's the facts. That's the truth. So California, as well as many other sanctuary cities, are breaking the law. It is unconstitutional for them to be doing what they're doing, especially allowing the popo to go after us with impunity. But when it comes to the illegals, no. Let them chill. They're okay. Just hold you gotta be cool. Just be cool. And now Karen Boss wants to go around here giving out money to illegals when we got 34% of the homeless population being the 9% of foundational Black Americans. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. And a lot of people want to sit here and say, oh, y'all be capping for the Republicans. We don't have to cap for the Republicans. The Democrats are sitting here playing in our faces and putting the data out for us to be able to read it for ourselves. You think we're supposed to stay silent? No. We are not supposed to stay silent, and we will not stay silent. Shalom and salute to our brother Reparations Nation in the building. Shout out to you, family. Family, I don't know if you can tell, but like I said, I'm amplified off of the things that's been going on. I am amplified. So they're going to get all this work. It's no wonder that Karen Bass wants to, or she says she has a soft place in her heart for Hispanics and illegals and all this other stuff. Family, years ago, we was already calling this out. But this is her family. This is her family. And you would think that, you know, the little afro there, you would think that she was a Black American. But we all been saying for the longest time, no, she is not an Afro-American. Because we aren't Afro-Americans. We're foundational Black Americans. So if she's not a foundational Black American and if she's not Afro-American, what is she? Well, family, we brought this to the forefront once before. Her grandfather is a Mexican. Yes, she's a whole Mexican convert. That's who this woman is. That's who her family is. And it makes perfect sense that this Mexican convert is out here trying to give these people taxpayer dollars while turning her back on the people in the god dang city that she runs that are foundational Black American. You don't see her doing that to them. That would end homelessness tomorrow. Do you see her saying the same thing for the Black Americans, the foundational Black Americans who sleeping on the streets on Skid Row? No, you don't. Let's get to some of the family's reactions.
Want to hear my secret? Let me show you. Remember a couple of days ago when I made that video, it said that Karen Bass has a soft spot in her heart for the Latinos? Do you know why? It's because she's a Latino. Yeah, not a foundational Black American. No. Because see, Karen Bass forgot that she made this post in 2018. Let me show you what that post is. This is from September 9th of 2018. Mayor Karen Bass, so you know that it's a blue check mark. So that means that it's a verified account. My grandfather, Salvador, came to this country from Mexico in the arms of his mother. So he was a dreamer before there was even a such thing as a dreamer. And during World War II, he fought for the only country he knew, America. When he returned home, he became a citizen, built a business, and raised a family. I am here today because of him, claiming that I'm Black when I'm not. So let's see if Google is going to lie. What ethnicity is Karen Bass's parents? Her mother was a homemaker. Yeah, Latino Black family in a news article referring to her stepchildren. So she does not specify their ethnicity. But Bass family is described as Latino Black family in news articles referring to her stepchildren. Bass herself is the first African-American woman to be elected Speaker of California Assembly and the second African woman to be mayor of Los Angeles. She has also stated that her grandfather, Salvador, came to the United States from Mexico. So bitch, she's not an African-American woman. You see how they lie? Do you see how they lie? And now I kind of understand why I was so shocked when I found out that a Black woman was running LA, because it didn't even sound feasible. It didn't even sound believable. And now it makes sense. So that's why she goes harder for the Latino families and the Latino people, whether they're documented.
November 7, 1983. Remember this date, but first, let me introduce you to Karen Bass. Back in the 1970s, community activist Karen Bass went on at least 15 trips to Cuba, many with a group known as the Ben Soremos Brigade, a Marxist group started by the Castro regime to subvert American interests, weaken democracies, and spread communism around the world.
Family, don't it sound like she's spreading communism throughout California with the exception, of Los Angeles, with the exception of the communist that's being spread, the socialism that's being spread is only being spread to her fellow Latinos? Just a question.
Founded in 1969, the Venceremos Brigade organized trips to Cuba every year for half a century. They attracted the most radicalized and delusional segments of the American left, including overt Maoist and pro-Soviet communist groups. In fact, a Los Angeles police investigator who infiltrated the group testified to Congress saying that to be a member of the brigade, you had to be confirmed as a Marxist-Leninist, as a brigadista, and then moving up the ranks to organizer for the Venceremos Brigade. Karen Bass visited Cuba every 6 months. Their mission? To radicalize young, impressionable American leftists in terrorist tactics and guerrilla warfare. Members of the Venceremos Brigade were even taught how to make bombs. Karen Bass admits, on her many pilgrimages to Cuba, she went to see Fidel Castro speak several times, even calling him charismatic. And upon his death, praised him, saying, the passing of Commandant and Jefe is a great loss to the people of Cuba, even though the people of Cuba see him as a dictator who impoverished their island. Another group, the M19, took its belief in revolutionary anti-imperialism to extremes, violent extremes. The M19 was the first and only women-created and women-led domestic terrorist group. Since their founding in 1978, M19's tactics escalated from robbing armored trucks and abetting prison breaks to building their own explosives and carrying out terrorist bombings. From 1983 to 1984, M19 bombed an FBI office, the Israel Aircraft Industries Building, the South African Consulate in New York, DC's Fort McNair, and Navy Yard, which they bombed twice. But that wasn't enough for them. On the night of November 7, 1983, the M19 called the U.S. Capitol switchboard and warned them to evacuate the building. Minutes later, the M19 bombed the north wing of the U.S. Capitol. November 7, 2023 marks 40 years since the M19's bombing of the U.S. Capitol. Members of the M19, like Susan Rosenberg, traveled to Cuba with and were radicalized by the Venceremos Brigade. The South Los Angeles Venceremos Brigade was led by Karen Bass, who is now mayor of Los Angeles.
Yes, my comment is they need to leave, and they need to leave right now.
Yeah, they need to leave, and they need to leave right now. Let me tell you something. The they that you're speaking of, I'm going to be honest with you. I actually have to agree with her. They do need to leave. But the they that I'm referring to is the illegals, your fellow Latinos, your fellow sneaking to the countryites. Salute to Hula Gang. Thank you for being here, family in the building. I'm referring to those people that's a part of your lineage that needs to go. Just to keep it 100 with you. Those same people that you're trying to, protect and give funds to, taxpayer funds. Yeah. They need to leave, and it needs to be now. But family, you don't see what we were seeing when it came down to reparations, when Karen Bass came out, said she was going to give this money out to these illegals. And what did we see with the reparations situation? We had all these different people, Latino and otherwise, coming out talking about how, well, my family wasn't here doing slavery. It's unfair. We don't have nothing to do with it. Why should we have to pay? I ain't seen none of them come out saying anything about this. Salute to Archie Thomas. Thank you for being here, my brother. I ain't heard nothing from nobody who was running around here talking all that nonsense when we were talking about reparations in California, talking about I wasn't here, my family wasn't here. None of them came out to say nothing when Karen Bass said she was going to be giving out cash cards to a bunch of people who ain't supposed to be here, who's afraid to leave their house because ICE is doing their damn job. Y'all remember this, broad?
Economists, consultants from the task force reported the total amount could be as much as $800 billion. $800 billion. That's 2.5 times the size of our entire state budget. To pay for that, you'd need a major tax hike, unlike anything this state has ever seen before. I recognize and acknowledge the painful part of our history. The pains of our past should not be paid by the people of today. The majority of our state is Latino and Asian, making up 55% of our population. Most of them, like me, are first, second, or third generation immigrants who had nothing to do with slavery, discrimination, Jim Crow laws, nothing. It is fundamentally unfair to force these people to pay for this, and because of that, I will be opposing it. Economists, consultants from the task force reported the total amount could be as much as $800 billion. $800 billion. That's 2.5 times the size of our entire state budget. To pay for that, you'd need a major tax hike, unlike anything this state has ever seen before. I recognize and acknowledge the painful part of our history. The pains of our past should not be paid by the people of today. The majority of our state is Latino and Asian, making up 55% of our population. Most of them, like me, are first, second, or third generation immigrants who had nothing to do with slavery, discrimination, Jim Crow laws, nothing. It is fundamentally unfair to force these people to pay for this, and because of that, I will be opposing to.
I played that twice, family, because we ain't heard nothing from this Bradford hoe. Yeah, I called her a hoe. I don't even care at this point in time. It's going to be some words thrown around here today on this broadcast because we got a lot of bitches and hoes, male and female, that we got to call out today. This is the day. Where is this woman? Where are the people who are sitting here opposed to reparations because my family didn't have nothing to do with it? Where? They ain't nowhere to be found. In the very same way that nobody in the Democratic Party was there to be found when they literally stonewalled our reparation bills in California. Nobody went along trying to sue California or sue the Congressional Black Caucus or sue the Congressional Legislative Black Caucus. No, everybody is silent as hell. But when it has to do with illegals, when it has to do with everything that has nothing to do with us, what are they doing? They out here suing.
More than 20 states are suing the Trump administration over billions of dollars in frozen funding for education programs, and California is leading that lawsuit. The California Department of Education estimates nearly $940 million is not being released to the state. It's more than $6.8 billion nationwide. The money is set aside for programs to provide academic support, enrichment, and childcare, including summer programs and English language classes. Some of the money was expected on July 1st. Attorney General Rob Bonta says the funding freeze is illegal, violating the Constitution and several federal laws. The Trump administration says it wants to make sure recipients' programs align with the president's priorities.
So, family, they want to talk about what's illegal all of a sudden. It's unconstitutional. You guys are literally running cities. Literally running cities that are unconstitutional by nature because you bastards would love for everybody to just accept the illegals. But because we don't, y'all love to jump out in front of the illegals issues and never, not once, jump out in front of ours. You guys are running a city which is allowing the police to run ramshot on us with impunity. And you dumb motherfuckers are out here trying to make it all about the illegals and what you're not getting from Trump because you want to rock with these illegals. Oh, family, oh, family, oh, family. The largest middle finger up to each and every one of you. Not you as my family, you as the people who are sitting here pushing this nonsense. Let's be very damn clear about it. And another reason why I'm so angry, why I'm so upset about this whole scenario. While California was sitting there disrespecting foundational Black Americans and stonewalling our reparations bill, we had a congresswoman in California who was going around. You know what? We ain't even there yet. I'm jumping the gun. I apologize, family. Like I said, this is a barn burner. This right here pisses me highly the hell off. But we'll get back to that California Democratic woman who was going around caping and putting in all these introducing all these different bills for the AU. Oh yeah. We're going to get there, but let's go here first, family. Family, do you remember the pro-ho activists? Well, the pro-ho activist came out and she thought that she was going to be able to wag her finger at Black Americans. And she thought that she was paving the way for the AU. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about when I say the AU, who wasn't here in the last broadcast, just put a pin in it. We'll get back. But let's get to this pro-ho activist. Matter of fact, let's start here. I want to remind you guys who the pro-ho activist is and why I call her the pro-ho activist. Right there on her page, you can see it says right after pro-black. What does it say, family? Pro-ho. So when I call her the pro-ho activist, this isn't me just being obtuse or being a disrespectful person towards another dark-skinned person. No, she claimed herself to be a pro-ho activist. So I give her what she claimed to be, her title, pro-freaking-ho. And it also says, let's see, an organizer, advocate, she, her. She's a part of the Rainbow Coalition. Salute and shalom to our brother Marvin C. Thank you for being here, family. She's also a self-proclaimed pain in the ass of the ruling class. Interesting. Interesting. We're going to get to her in a second, but I got to give a B1 salute to our sister Aquarius Minded. Thank you for your super chat, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I truly appreciate your contribution. Family, let's get into this pro-ho activist. This is a video that I did, I believe it was 2 years ago. Nope, it was a year ago. August of last year. Also, salute to our brother Christopher Ellis. I dropped my phone when I heard pro-ho. That's what she is. That's what she claims to be. Pro-ho. And if you look in her picture here, she might have a Afina Shakur at the top. But when you look at the picture there, if you really squint, if you can look into that picture there, it says preserve abortion. That's who the pro-ho is. That is who the pro-ho is. But I want to remind you guys, so let me just go ahead and play this clip from one of my last broadcasts. Like I said, this wasn't even a broadcast. This was just a drop. Let's go. This up real quick. She's a part of the rainbow community. Already. Look at this. Pro-black, pro-ho, an organizer, advocate. Are you serious? Pro-ho? That should show you this woman should not be taken serious. But when you look, oh, okay, maybe that's why she's pro-ho. Because herself. But this is a woman, and she's caking real hard for these folks. She's using her whole damn page for these folks. I don't see nothing about no anti-black hate crime bill. I don't see nothing about that. Y'all here calling us CIA and stuff. I don't see nothing about that. You're caping real hard for them Palestinians, though. Look at it. What does it say? I'm Jamaican and Panamanian. Still black. No, but you're not Black American. Now, family, this was during the time where Israel started invading Palestine. And when Black Americans were saying, hey, this ain't our fight. We're cool. We're going to stay out of it. This pro-ho was the one that came out talking about, I know the CIA is laying on their stomach, kicking their feet and twirling their hair because Black Americans is doing their job. This is the pro-ho. And salute and shalom to our family, Mia Kim, who's in the building. Thank you for being here, my sister. This is the Pro Ho. But, let's get to what the Pro Ho had to say as of recently, shall we?
Just happened to say, if all African peoples across the globe united to demand reparations from the West, we could end this empire today. I don't know what the fuck it is with this weird ass obsession that Black Americans have with holding ourselves and the fact that we are descendants of slaves over everybody else. But I just want to remind y'all.
What'd she say?
What the fuck it is with this weird ass obsession that Black Americans have with holding ourselves and the fact that we are descendants of slaves.
Oh, family.
We? We.
Did you take a stupid pill with your breakfast this morning, Admiral?
What the f does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
What the hell are you over here talking about? We, descendants of slaves, and we. Hold on, Pro Ho. Hold on, Pro Ho. I'm Jamaican and Panamanian. What are you talking about, Pro Ho? Why are you even speaking in a situation that has nothing to do with you, Pro Ho? Pro Ho, why are you speaking about a situation? You know what? You need one of these. These folks don't think we have a long enough memory. When it comes to foundational Black Americans, our memory are like elephants. An elephant never forgets a friend or a freaking enemy. Why you think, and y'all should know this, I used to talk about Hannibal all the time. Hannibal's mother gave him an elephant, and when he grew up, he gave her a country. These folks don't stem from that bloodline, and these folks don't understand that our memory is longer than the elephant of Hannibal. Let's be very clear about that. But let's get back to what the Pro Ho had to say here. No shit, Sherlock. Where did you find the clue? Did Watson hand it to you? Did Watson hand you the clue? We've been going around here saying how foundational Black Americans are indigenous to this land for the longest. We've also been putting out the information showing that we're indigenous to this land for the longest. And you are now saying, hey, most of the Africans were taken to the Caribbean and Central America. No shit. We've been saying the same damn thing, but it's been you guys running around here talking about we're all African. It's been you guys running around here talking about, oh, well, we're all one people, one band, one sound. But now she's here saying exactly what we've been saying for decades. For decades. She's admitting it. Lies. 100% lies. And before we continue, shalom and salute to our family. Deborah, thank you for your Cash App donation, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I truly appreciate your contribution. This hoe is lying. I said this in my last broadcast. It is very easy to actually look up the people who came here after the Haitian Revolution, and guess what? It wasn't the Haitians. What goddamn sense does it make for the people who were formerly enslaved to get their freedom in 1804 and then turn around and come to America where we were still enslaved until 1866 or so, 65 or whatever? Excuse my French. I don't mean or whatever. It's just, like I said, it's very upsetting. It's very upsetting. Salute the little 95. Thank you for being here, family. Shalom to you. But this is what these people try to do. They try to sit here and they try to skew what's actually going on, what actually happened. Oh, I didn't even switch it back, family. Give me a second. I'm going to let her go again.
America. People love to uphold Black American resistance as the crown jewel of all African resistance. And let me tell you, okay, we owe a lot of thanks to our brothers and sisters in Haiti and Jamaica, because without them revolting when they did, we would not have been free when we were. The Haitian Revolution literally destabilized the Western Empire that existed in Europe. And
what has that got to do with America? You said that they destabilized the Western powers in Europe. What the hell does that have to do with the United States of America, in which we've been setting off all these different rebellions way before Haiti had their rebellion? Not a damn thing. Salute to Archie Thomas. Yeah, 1865. Thank you. Like I said, I know it's 1865. 1866 is usually what's on my mind, because I'm always going into that goddamn, as I showed you guys, the slave voyage situation. I'm always going in there showing people how to do the research there, and I'm used to putting from 1500s to 1866 after the Emancipation Proclamation was passed through or whatnot. So please forgive me for that. But like I said, it's very frustrating that these people continue to put the dang same lies out that they know ain't working, but they keep trying. But let's let her finish.
the West has never let them fucking forget it, which is why they're in debt right now. While y'all boast about...
No, they're in debt right now because they're a bunch of pussies. I said it. They're in debt right now to a country that enslaved them. Whose fault is that? It ain't ours. And it has nothing to do with us whatsoever. Salute to LaRonda Hicks. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you, my sister.
About the profitability of Black American culture, our tax dollars are literally being used to bomb children in Somalia. They are being...
Family. You want to talk about what our tax dollars is being used for? Then talk about all of the tethers that come here and eat off of our tax dollars, get programs because of our tax dollars, while sitting in a country that we built with a disdain for foundational Black Americans, even though the tax dollars of the foundational Black Americans is giving them every damn opportunity that they've never seen in their damn homelands. You want to talk about people in the land that I'm not in? Do that. But guess what? I don't care at this point in time. When I cared, you guys gave us the middle finger. When I cared, you said me no black. I'm not black, I'm Nigerian. I'm not black, I'm Somalian. I'm not black, I'm not black, I'm not black. So now that I stopped caring, your dumbass want to sit here and try to tell me that my tax dollars is being used to do A, B, and C. Okay, so freaking what? At this point in time, it's so freaking what? If you care so much, take your ass over there and go fight with them. Do it. But you're not going to do it because you are a CIA op. You are an agent of white supremacy. You've been getting called out for the past 5 years by many people within the new black media. So it isn't just me. You have always been an op. So while you're sitting here talking about, oh, if you can, your tax dollars is doing A, B, and C, you're being paid by the same damn tax dollars, you goddamn op. Oh, Most High, forgive me. You made me, so you know I'm about to turn up on this.
Used to work with Kenya so that we can have boots on the ground in Haiti. Your tax dollars are going to AFRICOM that is actively trying to destabilize the Sahel states that are looking for independence from the West right now.
You mean the same AFRICOM that was dispelling Haiti, and the same AFRICOM that said Black Americans shouldn't be a part of the AU at first? The same AFRICOMs, right?
So if you think being born on this land makes you more exceptional than other black people, if you think that being born on this land means that you get to have all of your comforts on the backs of African people all across the world, then congratulations, you've officially been assimilated to the American identity. Pat yourself on the fucking back.
Family, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think we're better. I know it. That's a big, big, big secret that everybody's trying to keep behind the paywall. We are better. If we weren't better, why would everybody try to assimilate into us? If we weren't better, why aren't you at home doing what you need to better your country? If we weren't better, why the hell are you taking on our aesthetics, our lingo, and everything else? It's not the other way around. It is not the other way around.
If you made it this far into the video, go ahead and comment a middle finger emoji because fuck America and its exceptionalism, bitch. Just
take your bitch ass back to Panama or Jamaica. Let me say that one more time. Oh man, monetization is going on this, but I don't give a damn. Take your stanky bitch ass back to Jamaica or to Panama. I'll let you choose. Since you want to throw a middle finger up to America and Americans, take your septum ring, attach it to a helicopter or airplane, whatever's taking off first, and let it fly your ass back to your native origins. Salute to our brother Hurricane IQ. Thank you for your Cash App donation, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold. I appreciate your contribution. Our brother says, salute church and family. I am at work, so I can't comment like I want to. But you're making me laugh hard. Pause. And you're spitting facts as usual. Let these dumbos know. Much love to you, family. Much love to you. Also, salute to our family, Robert. That's Robert. Okay. Salute to our family, Robert. Thank you for your Cash App donation, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution, family. Family, should I let her continue? I already let her finish. We're done with this hoe. That's right. We're done. Let's move here, family, because you know she got some backlash from us. You know we was out here pulling this chick's card. We were pulling this chick's card like it was a goddamn clock-in clock. This hoe came out with this post blocking all these FBA/CIA accounts. That's projection. That's projection if I ain't never seen projection. F you need. If you love this effing ass country, then you hate yourself. Congratulations. Do you see the logic that these tethers keep coming with? If we love the country that our ancestors built and sustained, that we're self-haters. No, we're self-lovers. And what we hate is you tethers. I hate everything about you tethers. I hate the way you walk. I hate the way you talk. I hate you with a pat. I hate you more than Kendrick Lamar hates Drake. I hate you more than Kendrick Lamar hates Drake. And let me say this, and I got to make sure I say this. Much love to our writers in the diaspora. But guess what? You tethers, oh, I hate the way you walk. I hate the way you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the fact that you sneak diss. If I catch flight, it's going to be direct. I don't have to sit here and play no games with you folks. And none of my foundational Black American family do either. We ain't never scared. We've always been out here speaking the truth. We've always been the voice of the real. And y'all finding out today. Y'all have always been the voice of the sneaky, the scammers, the people who we got to keep an eye on because nobody wants you nowhere in their country. Whoo, family. Family, family, family. Let's go here. Because this is the reason we ain't rocking with a lot of these folks out here trying to push this scam Africanism, out here trying to push all this nonsense, because they act like we don't have an intelligent mindset. Let's go to this brother. Much love to him.
Our Caribbean.
No. What is it? Okay. People that come from Jamaica, what do you call it?
I look, you don't even know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Oh, God dang it. I did not mean to do that. It must not have been meant for me to go there, family. But the brother was having a conversation with somebody from the Caribbean. She was either Caribbean or African. And he was basically asking her, because she was basically saying, we're all African, we're all African. And he's like, well, what do you call somebody from the Caribbean who were from Jamaica? And she's like, well, I don't know, playing stupid. You call them Jamaicans. You don't call them Afro-Jamaicans. Haitians, you call Haitians. You don't call them Afro-Haitians. Eric Ford, shout out to you, family. Truth be told, indeed. So that's what the whole narrative of that video was. But then it actually got into the clips of all these different Africans who's here in America in 2025 who still claims that they are not they're not connected to African Americans by no means, even though we're FBAs, but that's their term. And they said it with their whole chest. So that woman right there that I was trying to show that ended up getting cut out. I did not mean to cut them out, but they got cut out. It led to this situation with the AU. And why all of a sudden the AU was focusing on foundational Black Americans, our purchasing purse. Now, when we did the broadcast the other day, family, I spoke about them wanting to get our purse, wanting to get the $1.7 trillion that foundational Black Americans spend annually. What I didn't have the information on was the fact that apparently the diaspora has been made the 56th member of the African Union. Let's go here, family. Let's go here. It just closed down my whole screen. I did not want to do that, but let's go.
Y'all know we be on it, right? Because who they think they playing with, okay? So y'all know I was here and I just told y'all about this African initiative to redirect Black Americans $1.7 trillion, okay, of wealth, right, into the African continent. But let me tell y'all how I just found where they bizzling at in government. Because you know your girl be digging. I be digging, and I done found this shit. Yeah, let me show it to y'all. So this lady, okay, who's in the House of Representatives of Congress, representing California.
Put a pin in this lady, family. We're going to get back to her and dig into her very, very deeply.
And a Democrat, Sydney Kalmalerger, I don't know, I hope that's how you pronounce her name, Dove. She presented this bill right here, the African Diaspora Council Act. Here we go. And this was presented to Congress January 28th, 2025. Boy, I tell you, when we start digging, Essence Fest to open up a lot of shit, y'all. So anywho, the bill is to establish the Advisory Council on African Diaspora Engagement in the United States and for other purposes. So anywho, pause and read that. It basically says that, you know, the advisory board will consist of people who are very well known, right? Government, sports, creative industries, business, academia, social work, and faith-based activities. So they're trying to hit it from all fronts. They want people who are on this council that are of Black American descent, so-called African American, and African descent, okay? And what they want to do with this, Advisory Council shall advise the president through the Secretary of State on strengthening connections between the United States government and the African diaspora in the United States, right? In advising the president under paragraph 1, the Advisory Council shall provide information, analysis, and recommendations that address the following: strategies to advance equity and opportunity for African diaspora communities, including through efforts coordinated by the Domestic Policy Council under Executive Order 13985. Relating to advancing racial equity and support for underserved communities through the federal government. Now, we don't know what programs that would be, so we would have to watch that because they could play around with that a little bit to divert funds away from Black American communities. It's all in the language. Ways to support the United Nations Permanent Forum on People of African Descent, okay? Programs and initiatives to strengthen cultural, social, political, and economic ties between African communities, the African diaspora, and the United States, such as the Young African Leaders Initiative. What? A Young African Leaders Initiative. Look, they taking their global domination shit real serious, y'all. Real serious. I hope y'all peep what they doing and picking up what I'm putting down. Okay, this ties into what happened with the Essence Fest. They were trying to basically push their culture forward by doing it through our culture, which is basically what that paragraph right there kind of states. Try to address challenges and opportunities to advance inclusion, belonging, and public awareness of the diversity, accomplishments, culture, and history of the African diaspora. Y'all know that don't include Black Americans because Black Americans got Black History Month. So we know it don't include us. It's once again trying to advance them. Peep this one. Programs and initiatives such as the International Visitor Leadership Program to expand educational exchange programs between Africa and the United States. They trying to get more people over here, y'all. Programs and initiatives to increase public and private sector collaboration and community involvement in improving the socioeconomic well-being of African diaspora communities. You see how they sit up there and they sprinkle shit in there. Y'all see how they doing it. Programs and initiatives such as Prosper Africa to increase participation of members of the African diaspora in the United States with regard to trade, investment, economic growth, and development programs relating to Africa. And then it also says, it adds real quick, like such other topics the Secretary of State considers relevant. What? That's vague. That's vague. So anywho, there's that. And what does that all tie into? Right here. They had this meeting, 2023, Diaspora Initiative looks to tap into 1.7 trillion African American, which is really Black American purse.
Now, family, this was the article that I read in the last broadcast. Go home, Tether. This article came out in 2023. 2023. And I'm going to show you some things that's paired with this article. Let's let our sister finish though.
Yeah, they all bizzling all over the place. We got to watch these folk, y'all. We got to watch these folk. Because this is what they do. Just like with Essence Fest. They try to make it seem like it's something. Make it seem like it's something that involves us, but it's really about them. It's really about them. And they got these thing paying Africans, okay, and Democrats trying to push all of this shit forward. Try to push all of this shit forward. Because what the fuck? You don't have a leadership program for Black Americans. Why the fuck are you sitting up here trying to bring these folk from across the waters here talking about some leadership exchange? For fucking what? Anywho.
All right. Shout out to my sister because, like I said, I was and that's somebody I really, Jassy, like I really rock with her because back in my TikTok days, she was in like circles that I was in and things like that. So I'm very happy that, I don't agree with everything she says, but for the majority of everything, we're eye to eye on certain things. But much love to her. I'm glad that she didn't got the following that she didn't got it. She then went from like 1,000 to like 35,000 in the time that I've been gone. So much love to her. And I appreciate the sister staying on business and staying on code. Let's go here, family. We're going to have to go here. This is what's been going on behind our backs, family. Fifth ordinary session of the 6th legislature of the Pan-African Parliament. Let's get into it. What? The 5th ordinary session of the 6th legislature of the Pan-African Parliament under the African Union theme of the year of 2025, Justice for Africans and People of African Descent through Reparations. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me toss this right up in it. Here's a better picture of what they are trying to do. We're going to get into it, family. When the 21st of July to the 1st of August, 2025. So, what's today? Friday? No, today is Thursday, I believe. Today's Thursday. Let me make sure. Yep, today's Thursday. The 21st is Monday. So, they're going to have at least 2 weeks from Monday, the 21st, to Friday, the 1st of August. They'll be out there discussing matters that do not concern them. Our reparations don't concern nobody but us. But let's continue. Let's continue. Then it goes on to give you the little meeting days and, the regular conference type stuff. Public sessions, public conference, where it's going to take place in South Africa. Who? Africans heads of state and government. Pan-African Parliament. Speakers of national and regional parliament. Members of national and regional parliament. Clerks of national and regional parliament. Government officials. Civil society organizations. Academia. African Union member states. African Union organ and institutions. United Nation organ and bodies. And the diplomatic corps. Did you guys hear any foundational Black Americans in there? Because I ain't heard not one. I didn't see not one. As I read this, I got to rub my eyes to make sure I'm looking at it right. Making sure I'm looking at it plain. Hold on. Let me take another look here. Let me take a look. See? Yep. Don't see nobody that is foundational Black American. Oh, that's not even a half, family. Like I said, we got to give a shout out to our sister Cooking with Miss D. Uh-oh. Don't you do that. Okay, there we go. My sister sent this over to my DM. And I thought I had to make sure, because when she sent this, I thought it was the same article that I was about to read to you guys. Well, that I just read to you guys. I looked into it. I was like, let me just make sure that it's not the same article. And I'm glad I did, because it's not the same article. So once again, salute to our sister. And we're going to hit this here. Got to read this. H.E. Hilda Suka Mafudzi, African Union ambassador to the U.S. Oh, family. Let's get into who this hoe is. H.E. Hilda Suka Mafudzi is the African Union ambassador to the United States of America since October 2021. Since October 2021. She was nominated by H.E. Mousa. I'm going to say Mousa. That's what it looks like. Mousa Faki Mahatmat, chairperson of the African Union Commission, to lead the African Union's mission in the USA. The first bilateral diplomatic, I was supposed to say democratic, diplomatic mission opened by the AU in 2007. Ambassador Hilda, and that's what she'll be called henceforth. I don't want to keep saying her long ass name. Ambassador Hilda is the permanent representative of the African Union to the United States of America. Her core mandate is to enhance and maintain existing bilateral ties. These ties strengthen democratic institutions. These ties strengthen democratic institutions. Now you see why all these tethers are running around after we made the goddamn Democrats crash the hell out. And they're running around here like Chicken Little. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. This is why. Because they are here to what? Strengthen democratic institutions. And we're here to destroy any institution that is not representing or moving in the ways of the foundational Black American. But they're here. Oh, they're here to strengthen democratic institutions, advance trade and investments, knowledge sharing, promotes peace and security, mutual relationships between United States and all 55 AU members. Notice here is 55 a little bit ago when we read the update. It's 56 because they what? Decided to make the diaspora the 56th member, but more specifically, foundational Black Americans, so that they can leech off of us. In all 55 UA member countries, based on culture and shared values, a career diplomat, the same way we be talking about these career politicians, she's a career diplomat with experience that spans the African continent. Ambassador Hilda assumed her most recent duties on November 2nd, 2020. Let's see. What was going on in 2020 in November? Family, please let me know in the chat. What was going on in 2020 of November? Prior to coming to the United States, she helped lead diplomacy, for more than 2 decades in a variety of top government positions in her home country, Zimbabwe. Bingo, election. Bingo, election. Salute to LaShawn Kent. Yes, absolutely, family. No shame, then call us lazy. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, and you both were correct there too. The virus as well. Absolutely. All right, let's get here. She's from Zimbabwe, well known as a quiet champion of democracy. Ambassador Hilda held ambassadorial, positions representing her country in Khartoum, Sudan. She's from Khartoum, Sudan. Khartoum. Interesting. And South Sudan between 2010 and 2019. And most recently in the Republic of Malawi. Interesting. Family, these folks here has had a plan all along. These folks here have been plotting on us all a goddamn long. With a staunch commitment to democracy and the will of the people. You can't have a commitment to the will of the people when you guys was out here plotting on the people who aren't going to go for this, who are not going for this, and who are speaking up against this. Ambassador Hilda worked. God damn it. Excuse me, family. My screen is jumping. I'm trying to see what is going on here. Give me a second. Let me pull this down for a second. Maybe that'll stop it. Let me see. Okay, cool. Okay, so the ambassador worked fastidiously, with 55 AU member countries to promote and deepen democracy and democratic elections on the African continent. While ambassador to Malawi, she chaired the group of regional ambassadors representing the South African Development Community, a regional economic community comprising 16 member states, with an agreed objective to coordinate efforts and settle issues of the contested national elections. The ambassador engaged deeply with the African Union elections observers, and other international observers. So when we're sitting here talking about these folks put into place by the Democrats, we're seeing it in real time. Let me make sure I'm in the right place. In 2007, Ambassador Hilda was the executive director of the community development, where she was responsible for the day-to-day running of the organization and technical professional staff who interfaced with the government, civil society, and private sector. She worked to ensure civil society needs were family. She said that they were making sure that our needs were articulated. I don't hear anybody mimicking us. I don't hear anybody mimicking our talking points unless they're trying to change our talking points. Let me get back to this. Let me go back here. She worked to ensure civil society's needs were articulated and streamlined in public policies and programs. From 2020 to 2005, Ambassador Hilda served as an elected member of Zimbabwe's parliament. As one of the few women parliamentarians, she was an influential voice committed to ensuring Zimbabwe laws were balanced and served the interests of the poor and other marginalized groups, women, youth, the elderly, and children. Ambassador Hilda has a Master's of Arts degree. This is a Master of Arts, not a master's degree in political science, not a master's degree in marketing, not a master's degree in business, not a master's degree in law, nothing. In art, in the arts is where her master's degree is. Salute to Cooking with Miss D. Yeah, that degree is fake as like her wig. Absolutely. It's fake as her wig. Let me just scroll back up here real quick. Yeah, it's just as fake as that wig. The AU thought they were going to get over on us. Meanwhile, our young folks, I like to say youth, our young folks and scholars have already dropped all types of receipts. Yeah. And not just that, like I said, a lot of the information that I received today that we're going to be going through in just a few minutes, it came from the Hill. It came from people that I put out a kite to, because I didn't know who the hell the goddamn the Cam Langer, however you say her name, Cam Langer Dove woman was. When I put out a kite to the family, oh, the family put out a kite back. They put out a kite, and that kite was long as hell. It had a tail like a mug. I don't say long as hell because it's not really that long, but basically there's a bunch of people that we're going to have to talk about as well, because when I asked about this person, the family hit me back like, hey, yeah, she's somebody to keep an eye on. But the people who rock with her are also people that we need to keep an eye on. So we're going to get into that in just a few minutes. Let's get back over here, family. Let's see here. Where was I? She has a master's in arts. Master of Arts degree in international relations. First and foremost, family, as a political scientist, international relations is in political science. So usually what happens is when you take poli-sci classes, you will have to take a international relations class. And in my international relations class, I got to be the president of my own country. We had this simulation. And not only was I the president of my own country, my country didn't have any natural resources. My country was only rich in warfare materials. And guess what? My country won the game. So I know international relations pretty damn well. There is no arts of political, or excuse me, no arts of international relations. Arts and political science do not go together because political science isn't of the arts. When they're speaking of the arts, they're talking about theater. They're talking about music. They're talking about podcasting, painting, things such as that. They're not talking about political science. So seeing that she has a degree, a master's degree in arts in international relations, our sister Cooking with Miss D is absolutely correct. I think I assume that god dang degree is faker than her $2 wig. And the world order from the University of Leicester, United Kingdom, and a bachelor's of science degree with honors, in sociology and gender development. I'm more concerned about this because she knows what she's doing if she has a bachelor's degree in sociology. But what the hell is gender development? What in the hell is gender development, family? Can somebody make me aware? What is gender development? Shout out to our brother Ayo, fake ass online degree. She bought that degree. I believe it. I truly do. Hold up. Her degree is as fake like a counterfeit food stamp. That's hella fake. That is hella fake. You know, that's that back in the day food stamp where it came in the book. You you bringing up the old school. I respect that. All right, let's figure this out because I am completely just flabbergasted off of this. From the Women's University in Africa. We're not even going to finish this, family. None of this is important to what the next few things we're going to be talking about, family. The most important thing to me in this whole situation was the fact that this has been going on since 2007. And since 2021, her position has been filled to do a job. And we know what that job is. Let's head back to my sister, Jessie, real quick. First and foremost, I gotta give another salute to our sister because when she said don't get pissed off. It's very, very easy to go through this information and get highly pissed off. It's very, very easy. Because then you get to see how much these people have been playing in your damn face. Oh, snap. Family. Were you guys able to hear her? If not, let me know. Either way, I'm going to start it over. What the hell?
Y'all, these people is out here trying to claim reparations for us. These people are out here trying to claim reparations for us. Let me show y'all the receipts, because y'all know we've been sitting up here digging all through this AU shit, African Union, to figure out the hell they got going on and why in 2003 they added the diaspora as a sixth state. Okay, mind you, these people were established in 1963, but added the African diaspora in 2003. And here's what they've been trying to do, y'all: get our reparations without none of us knowing it. So they have designated 2025 as the year of reparations. AU theme of the year 2025. Theme: justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparations. The African Union has designated 2025 as the year of justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparations. How the fuck are you getting reparations for people you sold? Your ancestors sold our ancestors. It is documented. Anywho, let me calm my nerves, y'all. Don't get pissed off. This initiative underscores the AU's commitment to addressing historical injustices, including the transatlantic slave trade, colonialism, apartheid, and genocide. It builds on decades of advocacy and collaboration, aiming to foster unity and establish mechanisms for reparatory justice and on a global scale. Mind you, it was the Black American Civil Rights Movement that first started moving for goddamn reparations, y'all. That was a part of the Civil Rights Movement, was asking for reparations, y'all, in the 1950s and 60s. Okay. Now go ahead and read all through this. And mind y'all, nobody in this is Black American. Nobody. CARICOM is a part of this shit too, which is the Union Organization for the Caribbeans. But nobody in this is Black American. Not one motherfucking person is a descendant of an American slave. Nobody. It said, the first Pan-African Conference on Reparations, sponsored by the Group of Eminent Persons, GEP, in the OAU, was held in 1993, leading to the, now mind you, Malcolm X was a part of the OAU, but by 1993, he was no longer with us, leading to the, I don't know how to pronounce that, Proclamation on Reparations. This conference emphasized the importance of reparations and the moral debt owed to African peoples. Do y'all see African descendants there? Do y'all see descendants of enslaved people there? No. It says, the Declaration acknowledged the appalling tragedies of racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and related intolerance, including slavery and the transatlantic slave trade. It emphasized the need for victims of these human rights violations to have access to justice, legal assistance, and effective protection and remedies. And everybody knows that Americans and probably Black Brits are like the most in proximity to majority of the shit on this list. In 2020, and I know for a fact, and what's crazy about this is that in the UK, they got folk that's literally in their government shooting down reparations over there. And we have people here in the American government, which all happen to be of the immigrant African descent and of the Caribbean immigrant descent, that are shooting down fucking reparations every time this shit comes up in American state legislature or American federal legislature. In 2021, the AU held a continental experts workshop on the restitution of cultural property and heritage in collaboration with the government of Senegal. And mind you, every single one of these little meetings they hold are all held somewhere in Africa. Not a one has been held in America or in the Caribbean. The workshop focused on developing a common African position paper on the restitution of cultural property and heritage and a framework for action on the negotiations for the return, restitution of illicitly trafficked cultural property from the continent. How the fuck? Y'all participated in the trafficking. This is why reparations is not going through. This is what's going on with y'all. This is why. Because these motherfuckers got involved, and historically they can prove that Africans sold other Africans. They are fucking this shit up. Anywho, like, bitch, y'all owe us reparations. The fuck? In 2022, the African Diaspora Summit on reparations was co-organized by the government of the Republic of Ghana, the African Transitional Justice Legacy Fund, the Africa America Institute, let's go look into that shit, the Global Circle for Reparations and Healing, and other diaspora organizations. The Accurate Declaration on Reparations and Racial Healing included the Nation of Racial Healing, stating that reparations and healing are a multi-generational transnational endeavor requiring active engagement from grassroots, civil society, private sector, policy making, and leadership levels. Pan-Africans out in Ghana, y'all need to bring y'all ass in these comments so we can talk about this shit. Y'all was there? Y'all was there in 2022? Yeah, bring y'all ass in these comments. In November 2022, the African Commission on Human and People's Rights passed a resolution on Africa's reparations agenda and the human rights of Africans in the diaspora and of African descent worldwide. States endorsed a proposal by the Republic of Ghana to co-organize and host an international conference in 2023 on the theme, building a united front to advance the cause of justice and the payment of reparations to Africans. What the fuck? The AU Assembly decision requested the establishment of an African Committee of Experts on Reparations for the purpose of developing a common African position on reparations and incorporating therein an African reparatory program of action. Following the AU Summit in February 2023, a high-level delegation of the AU conducted a study tour to the Republic of Barbados, aiming to develop stronger AU CARICOM cooperation. CARICOM just joined in on this, I guess came to an agreement in 2024. The Accra Reparations bringing together various stakeholders to advance the cause of reparations, including reparatory justice and healings for Africans and people of African descent. Y'all can go ahead and pause and read all of this here. Okay, and it says having reparations for Africans and the people of African descent offers the AU the opportunity to take leadership on the Africa reparations agenda. Who the fuck asked the AU? Why the fuck would the African Union take leadership on the conversation of reparations when ain't none of them are descendant of enslaved persons?
Why would they take the front or leadership role on reparations when you guys owe us reparations too? Yeah. No. It's not just the fact that they're a do-nothing ass state, a do-nothing ass country. No. A continent in itself. No. It's you guys owe us reparations just like the United States owe us reparations. Why? Because you were paid to do what you do. You were given all this rum and all this nonsense, gunpowder and all this stupid stuff to sell away people. Well, the ones that were sold. So y'all not absolved of this issue either. So what the hell makes you think you could be the front person for this issue? Also, nobody in America is owed reparations but foundational Black Americans. Nobody around the globe is owed reparations from the United States government but foundational Black Americans. Not the diaspora, and damn show not the damn AU.
None of them. None of them they are descendants of slave traders, not enslaved people. My God, y'all, my blood pressure is boiling. My blood pressure is rising, y'all. Ooh, I'm getting heated. Because this made me mad. As well as bring together the African citizenry and the African diaspora to build a common and united front for the cause of justice and payment of reparations to Africans. What the fuck? Y'all gotta keep paying attention to this language. They use African diaspora at some point and they use Africans at some point. They want us to come together to create a united front to get them payments of reparations to Africans for historical crime and mass atrocities committed against Africans and people of African descent. They want us to get the reparations to go to Africans for atrocities that have been committed against us, people of African descent. And this tells you their objectives, okay? This is some scamming ass shit. I don't give a fuck, y'all. This is some scamming ass shit, man. I gotta laugh to keep it really cussing because what the hell? Strengthening AU, this makes so much sense why the U.S. has been like, fuck no on reparations. This makes so much sense. Strengthening, and you don't see nobody that we know, no organizations that we know are involved in this shit. The American Freedmen ain't involved in this. ADOS ain't involved in this. Nobody we know is involved in this shit. Strengthening AU institutional frameworks, establish and operationalize key mechanisms, including a committee of experts on reparations and an Africa Reparations Fund. What the fuck? Do not put them in control of our money. Develop partnerships with the Caribbean community and the African diaspora to enhance collaboration. We don't understand why the hell y'all going for reparations that include us. But separate our shit entirely. We got a better shot at getting this fucking money than y'all do. Y'all come on. And this is where you can see everybody that's involved. Nobody is American. Nobody is Black American in none of this.
Not none. Not none. Snapshot that, family. Those are all the people that are involved on the AU side. But we're going to get into the people that's involved over here, because these are a lot of folks who need to be put out of their positions. I want to first, before we get to the name calling out, before we start naming names, I want to get to some of the family's reaction to what's been going on over there in the AU and how they feel about these folks coming after us for our purse and our reparations. Let's go here, family. And shout out to this brother, man. I played him in our last broadcast, family. He was so animated, so angry that I didn't think I'd ever see him in the way that we're about to see him now. So, family, get your popcorn. Put your pen and paper to the side, get you some popcorn, get you something nice to drink, and then have a nice laugh.
They are calling it the Union of the United States. Africa is trying to run another scam. They are trying to cash in on the slaves they have sold in the past. And who is this diaspora lady? Everywhere I look left, I look right, I look up, I look down, diaspora. I look lady. Who is in the past? And who is this diaspora lady? Everywhere I look left, I look right, I look up, I look down, diaspora. Africa has the most culture you have ever seen. The president of Nigeria will now be adorned in a durag and Timbs for his uniform. I even heard that Tanzanians are teaching their animals.
I'm here. Well, when you figure out that people in the FBA movement only wants people under 25, I want to hang out with teenagers and strippers. That's why it's not gaining heavy involvement. Interesting that you say that. Since you feel that way, I'd like you to do me a favor. Get your ass up here. and explain yourself. I thought we was almost done, but apparently we got somebody who actually wants to say something. So get on up here and say what you just said and explain yourself, because none of what you said really makes any damn sense. Go ahead, get your ass up here. You got literally 1 minute. I'm going to play this clip over, and by the time this clip is done, if you're not up here, you're blocked.
They are calling it the Union of the United States. Africa is trying to run another scam. They are trying to cash in on the slaves they have sold in the past. And who is this diaspora lady? Everywhere I look left, I look right, I look up, I look down, diaspora. Africa has the most culture you have ever seen. The president of Nigeria will now be adorned in a durag and Timbs for his uniform. I even heard that Tanzanians are teaching their animals sign language.
Family. So it seems that, I lost a viewer. It seems that you got lost, didn't you? Let me just make sure you get lost forever. Banned and blocked. Y'all not about to come up in here with this nonsense. We're not doing that over here. If you want to troll, fine, troll. But guess what? You're going to have to be on this goddamn stage trolling. You ain't going to be able to troll with your little Twitter fingers. You're going to get up here and actually have a conversation with a foundational Black American. You are not going to sit here and talk shit to a Black American using your little Twitter fingers. And if you can't do that, your coward ass is going to get put the hell up out of here. Let's be very, very clear on that. In my last broadcast, I had this goddamn coward come in. Matter of fact, family, I think I'm going to have to, I want to show you this real quick before we continue. I want to show you what this coward said in my comment section the very last time that we did a broadcast. Give me 1 second, fam. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Oh. Getting the hiccups and stuff. Hold up. There we go. All right. Let me bring this up right here. Let me bring this up right here. This is a comment that I got in the last video, family. Before we move on. Tethers mean all Caribbeans and Africans. Don't let the FBA's online fool you. FBA specifically online pretend that it's only some Caribbeans and Africans, but they really mean all. Listen closely how and when they use it. I think he meant to say they, but it says use the word. Tether is used, and you'll see I'm correct. I think he also meant to say in my assessment, not I'm my assessment. Then it says, remember this. It's only online. None of this tethered talk. Basically, he said none of this happens offline in real life. I got you guys blocking. Hold on. There you go. Tether talk is face-to-face or in real time. Those that use this word know better. No. Let me tell you something. I don't know where you've been, family, but I be saying tether all the damn time. You know what my response to this was, family? I called him a tether. That's it. That's all. If you're so beat up over the word tether, then that's what I'm going to continue to call you, tether, because it proves exactly the point. Exactly the point. And this tether that came up in here trying to talk that nonsense just found out that either you're going to stand on business and say it with your whole chest, or I'm just going to kick your ass up out of here like the tether you are, you freaking coward. And so did this same tether, Rio. Congratulations, Rio. You wanted attention, and now you got attention, Rio. All right. Now, let's go here, family. Give me 1 second here. Pull this down, pull this up. Let's go.
Black Americans, listen, please stop referring to yourself as African American. That Pan-Africanism, that whole movement to unify Black Americans with Africans, listen, that's a hoax. They want a destiny swap with us. They want to take our culture and our dollars and take it back to Africa. You see what they did with the Essence Festival. If y'all keep feeding into this narrative that we are all the same, they are brothers and sisters, what's going to end up happening is when it comes time for reparation for what our ancestors went through, not theirs, the ones that they sold, not theirs, what's going to happen is they're going to send Black Americans' reparations over to Africa. And they are not our friends. They are not our allies. And I hope y'all can realize this and wake up. Black Americans.
The same thing that I'm saying, it's the same thing that Black Alpha is saying. The same thing that Black Alpha is saying, the same thing that our brother Afro Elite is saying. The same thing that our brother Afro Elite is saying. The same thing Jason Black is saying. The same thing Jason Black is saying, the professor is saying. Same thing that the Professor Black Truth is saying, our brother Tariq is saying. The same thing that Tariq is saying, the Black grassroots is saying. Our brother goddamn Beatzilla, our brother Black Truth United, we're all saying the same thing because we see what's going on and we're not stupid. Let's go here, family.
So we have a real bone to pick. The Black American community has a real bone to pick with these diasporic individuals who think that they have a say-so or they're given a green light by certain politicians that don't represent us to siphon our purchasing power out of our communities without putting any programs back in, without providing to the community, without offering anything to the community, right? To basically fund their economy and fix shit that they got going on over there without our say-so. And we see what y'all doing and y'all not getting away with that shit, and you're gonna have to do proper business over here, right? We're not doing the shit that the Chinaman and the Frenchman and the Englishman do over in your country, in your continent, where you let them finesse you out of 360 deals and shit like that and take all your resources. You're not doing that to us. So we have a real...
Oh yeah. I guarantee you each and every one of them are. Every single one of them. Salute to Star Child. She said, you see how them tethers in the Congressional Black Caucus, they all on board to scam us out of our reparations. Absolutely, family. Salute to our brother Armageddon is in the building. Thank you for being here, family. Let's go here.
Look, there's so much stuff going on the African continent. I can't get into all the details because I'm not there. But I know for a fact that every single African person on the African continent does not agree with the African Union either. Okay, so it's crazy to think that Black Americans are supposed to agree with them too. My whole thing is the African Union can't lead Black Americans. Okay, the African Union cannot lead Black Americans. They made us the 6th region or whatever, but that's why I have a problem. That's why you can't lead Black Americans. You can't tell Black Americans what to do. Okay, ain't no way in the world. And you know, I can go all the way back with this. There ain't no way in the freaking world. They just look.
bad decision making. As far as Africa, the last contact, like we know from Africa, was a transatlantic slave trade. Now, mind you, they traded human beings for umbrellas. This is bad decision making. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way in the world. If ain't no way in the world, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. You traded my forefathers, my skilled forefathers, for some umbrellas and some freaking beer. They came out of one of their mouths. One of the chief's mouths. Talking about something, yes, they had no, boo, no. Bad. And then he said it with a little smile on his face, like, yeah, no. That's not gonna happen. If I have to have no, it's just bad decision making overall. Like overall. And I think the people of Africa deserve freaking better. You know what I'm saying? They always have deserved better. My forefathers, my ancestors deserved better than that. You know what I'm saying? They deserve better. So to sit up there and just be just because they said, oh, we want to include you. Okay, you want to include me in what? Because there's only certain things I'm going to be included in. You see what I'm saying? A party? I mean, what you going to be included in? Because if it's going to be politics, then I'm going to have to run it.
Period, point in black. I don't even need to play the rest of her clip because that's where I'm be honest with you. It should have ended right there. That was the drop the mic moment for me. Salute to our brother Armageddon. Thank you for your super chat. I appreciate you, and your super chat is blessed tenfold. I truly appreciate your contribution. He said for the collection plate. Much love to you, family. Let's get over here, family, because we got a call to arms going out. Let's go.
This is a call to action to all be one ethnic Black Americans. We are no longer accepting the name African American. We are not African American, and I don't know what Jesse Jackson was thinking back then because we've never really.
Family, if you're talking about this young lady here, she claims to be Sulani, so I would have to do more research to see if she is or isn't, to be honest with you. Let's head back here.
Like the term anyway. What we need to do is on a nationwide level, we need to petition the courts, petition the census, submit what we need to do legally to the government to change our name. We no longer want to be called African American. Cross out African American wherever you can on a form and rewrite either ethnic Black American, ADOS, foundational, whatever you choose, indigenous, Sulan. Do not accept this name anymore. It is time for us to reclaim our identity and call ourselves what we feel comfortable with so other people cannot come and tether themselves to our struggle, our fight, and our advancement that our ancestors died and struggled for. This is not working for us anymore. So what we need to do again is whenever you can, cross out on a paper. If you can write in ethnic Black American. If you want to do something else, that's fine. I'm not going to argue with you about what you choose to call yourself, but do not write or accept African American anymore. Ethnic
Family, what she said, I had to explain to somebody earlier today. And this person literally turns to me and says, I'm African American. I'm not ashamed of who I am. I go by what my birth certificate tells me I am. So don't you try to force your ideologies on me. I said, first and foremost, I'm not forcing anything upon you. I'm educating you. There's a big difference. I say you call yourself what you're called on your birth certificate because of the fact that you were reclassified, even though 94% of the people 20 years ago didn't want to be reclassified into African American. But they still did it. The same way we didn't want to be reclassified from indigenous to Negro. But they still did it. And as I told this young lady, I said, you don't have to call yourself what I want you to call yourself. You can call yourself whatever the hell you want. But understand, all you're doing is allowing people to come in and infiltrate the lineage in order to push their people forward, while ours get deprived of everything we deserved and worked hard for in this country. So what this sister is saying is absolutely correct. I've been explaining the exact same thing, and we all know it. We're opening the door for people who shouldn't be here, and that's how all this nonsense came about in the first damn place. Messy Jesse damn Jackson. Salute to Cooking with Miss D. I have the same problem here in New Orleans. People are so ignorant. Absolutely. Absolutely. And a lot of them, they just hear what they hear online and they just start regurgitating what they hear online. Because for the fact that she said, oh, I'm not ashamed of who I am. Bitch, I'm not ashamed of who I am either. I'm the most proud person you probably ever going to meet. That's why I go so damn hard for us. But if we see that there's an issue that needs to be addressed in order to protect our lineage, then why the hell wouldn't you want to look at that situation and address it? Oh, because you're listening to everyone else. You think that we're a cult. Okay. Well, you find out in the long run who was really in a cult.
Black American, but do not write or accept African American anymore. Ethnic Black Americans need to rise, unite, and advance in the way that we were chosen to do so.
And that's it. That's all. That's it. And that's all. Because the fact of the matter is this. These folks think that we're rocking with them. If you don't stand up for your lineage, they're going to say, oh, the FBAs are rocking with us. Yeah, they're actually with us. They want the AU to champion reparations. And a lot of the family sees that. They know it. They understand it. They overstand it. They understand it. And because of that, we're getting a lot more people who are willing to come out and call out the chicanery, the nonsense, and the shenanigans. Let's go here.
You all have gone too far. You all have gone too far. You think that you're going to steal my children's inheritance? You think that you're going to swap out our destiny for yours? You think that you're going to take our ancestors' struggles and traumas and trials and tribulations and victories and claim them as your own and walk away free, unaccounted for, unchecked? You have gone too far. You know who you are. And I'm calling divine judgment on you all, every one of you, from every land who has culturally shape-shifted and attempted to steal, to undermine, to replace the indigenous Americans who are now known as Black Americans. You will not succeed. You are done. It is broken. Surrender, lay down, fall. All your weapons form will never prosper. Everything that you have brought against us has been brought back to you, tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold, to the Most High's pleasure. You have gone too far. And in your arrogance, you will fall. You will fall. You have fallen. Most High Yah, I call upon you for your divine judgment to reign over all parties who have participated in the disenfranchisement of our people here in these lands. I call on all my divine ascended ancestors of the purest white light who have our best interests at heart. All of our ancestors, even the ones that will have to do the dirty work, whoever it takes for divine justice to be written in this world, in this land, all over the globe. You all have gone all over the globe. And you've attempted to siphon, to detract, to replace the indigenous peoples unapologetically, mercilessly. And you were given that ability to do that for a time, but you took it too far. And your time is up. You stand today, but today is the last day that you will stand. Every day you will fall further and further and further until you are made our footstool. The battle has already been won.
And with that, let the church say amen, amen, amen. Salute to our family, AB. Thank you for being here, family. He said this will be bigger than the BLM movement protest, in my opinion. Absolutely, family. They're about to find the hell out today. They're about to find the hell out today. Like I said, hell, people has even been hitting, I'm pretty sure, ChatGPT up and asking, what can we do? What can we do? So let's go here, family.
Now that we know that Africans have created an American nonprofit organization called American Unity, 6th Region, USA, to falsely claim Black Americans to receive our reparations that we don't even know if we're getting, and also our 1.7 trillion spending power, what do we do now? You can request their bylaws, board structure, and 501c3 filing via IRS or GuideStar.org. We can all file a cease and desist demanding removal of Black Americans from the AU6R USA mission. This is the cease and desist letter that I'm sending. I'm writing the IRS for the misuse of nonprofit status by AU6R USA. I'm writing Georgia Attorney General for AU6R USA misrepresentation. A letter to U.S. Congress to reject AU6R USA representation. If you know you are indigenous to this land, this is a letter to United Nations for violations of indigenous sovereignty. I also created another petition to U.S. Department of State Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights, and Labor called Hands Off Our Lineage, Investigate AU6R USA Now. The link will be in the comments. And one more thing, if they ignore our cease and desist, we can organize a class action or coordinated civil suits.
Family, when I say that the FBA has been on their job, you don't want to see an FBA detective. You don't want to see an FBA lawyer who's really on this stuff. You really don't want to see FBA investigators do what they do on their stuff. Because when the investigators go out, when the kite is sent out, the kite is sent out. And guarantee when it gets back, oh, you're going to see. You're going to see. And now it's time to name some damn names. So family, grab your pen, grab your pencil, grab your notepad. It's time to go down the list of these assholes. When I said this is probably going to be one of the most important broadcasts that I've done to date, I meant that with all of my heart. Because all the time, every single time something weird happens, we're like, what the hell is going on? Where is all this coming from? We never have the names to name. But today, we got names to name and we got fingers to point. Let's start off with the Cam Longer Dove chick that our sister was talking about earlier in the broadcast, who introduced or reintroduced solutions to support the second international decade for people of African descent. This woman is a real problem. You know why she's a real problem, family? Because she's also the ones out here championing these other situations. Cam Lager, Dove, Jacobs, Meeks, Jacksons, and don't worry, we're going to get into these names. Sheriff Phyllis McCormick, all red, introduced solutions supporting the African Union joining the G20. Why is that any of your business? Let's see who are the co-sponsors. So the congresswoman who actually introduced the bill, Sydney Kamlager Dove, California, 37. Ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Subcommittee on Africa, Congresswoman Sarah Jacobs. Keep that name in mind too. She's also from California. House Foreign Affairs Committee Ranking Member Gregory Meeks, New York, 05. Give me 1 second, family. All right, here we go. and all Democratic members of the House of Foreign African Subcommittees on Africa. Congressman Jonathan Jackson, Illinois, 01. Congresswoman Sheila Phyllis, McCormick, Florida, 20. And Congressman Colin Allred, Texas, 32. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Because the next one she introduced, Cam Logger Dove / Jacobs introduced legislation to institutionalize African Diaspora Advisory Council. Okay. So this was championed by Congresswoman Sydney Camlogger Dove and Sarah Jacobs. Okay. Let's hit here. Camlogger Dove Allred introduced resolution to affirm U.S. African Union relationship. Encourage greater trade with Africa. And this one was championed by Sydney Camlogger Dove and Colin Allred. Shalom and salute to our brother DSB. Thank you for being here, family. You know it's always a pleasure. Let's get into some of these here. Let's go and see how these things did, right? So the African Diaspora Council Act has been introduced, and it was introduced in 2025. January of 2025. Salute the One Nation. They better take that mess to the Caribbean. I agree full-heartedly. The Black delegation approves this message. This is still in the works, family, because it was introduced in 2025, January of this year, to create an African Diaspora Council. Let's get into it a little bit. To establish the Advisory Council on African Diaspora Engagement in the United States for the purposes of be it enacted by the Senate of the House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembles. This act may be cited as the African Diaspora Council Act. Establishment. There shall be established by the Secretary of State an advisory council within the Department of State to be known as the Advisory Council on African Diaspora Engagement in the United States. We don't need to get to the membership. I want to get to the goal, because they're basically saying put all these different members on there from different areas in the Democratic Party. Already know it. Salute Shabazz American Freeman. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. It's always a pleasure as well. Let me get down here because I want to executive director, excuse me. That is not it. In general, the Advisory Council shall advise the President through the Secretary of State on strengthening connections between the United States government and the African diaspora in the United States. Let's go here, family. This is all information on it. But this is where I wanted to go. They also tried to pass a bill that talks about African Diaspora Heritage Month Act of 2023. This has been introduced and it still have not been to committee yet, but it has been introduced. Let's go here. To direct the Secretary of State to host regular U.S. African leadership summits and for other purposes. This was introduced on my birthday of last year. It went to committee 6 days after. And thank God it died on the 3rd of January this year. Thank God. Now, this Sarah Jacobs, she's introduced some stuff too. Jacobs and Cam Lager Dove introduced legislation to institutionalize the African Diaspora Advisory Council. We've already seen that in the other one, but she introduced it as well. So I wanted to make sure her name was on it. I'm not just going to let Beyonce put a ring on just anybody. No. We're going to let everybody get a ring who has something to do with it. This was in October 2024. Now, we have a senator who's trying to push that diaspora heritage much. Chris Coons. And don't the last name fit him very well, family? Chris Coons. The Coon of the Chris's. Introduced the bill as well to the Senate in order to have the African Diaspora Heritage Month. This is what we're doing, family. These are the people that's been out here championing this stuff. Now, let's see who also signed on to the bill. Tim Kaine, Democrat from Virginia. Mark R. Warner, Democrat from Virginia. Cory Booker, Democratic from New Jersey. Alex Padilla, Democratic from California. Ben Cardin, Democrat from, what is MD? Is it Missouri? Not Missouri. It's not Missouri. Is it Massachusetts? Somebody tell me what the MD is on the states. I'm spacing on that. Chris Van Hollen, he's also from MD as a Democrat. And Jeff Merkley, Maryland. Thank you, Opal Ivy. You're absolutely right. It is Maryland. I don't know how the hell I forget the hell. That is crazy. Thank you very much, my sister. But also Jeff Merkley, Democrat from Oregon. Family, I hope you got all those names. Because, like I said, the family on the Hill, they just sent me all of these. And they said specifically pay attention to the co-sponsors as well. So, family, we have our enemies. We have our open enemies, and now we have some names. We have names to master traders. So now it is incumbent upon us that we hold them Negroes' feet to the fire. we get at each and every one of them. We got to get this out to the masses. So please make sure that you share this information. Clip it, put it wherever you need to. Everybody needs to know the names of the folks that's been running behind the scenes, pushing this AU bull stuff. Everyone. Salute to our brother Maxwell Jenkins. Thank you for being here, family. Everyone needs to know exactly who these people are. And I'm sure there's more. This is just what my family sent today. Our family sent today. And I was told that there is more to come. So we will. This is just a pin being put in this. But all of these folks, the Cory Bookers, and now you really start thinking about the language of all these people that came out with these reparations plans. Why is every reparations plan that's come out through the Democratic Party, it's always been diaspora centered? Y'all notice that, family? Every single bill that they didn't ever put out with the words reparations on it has always been diaspora centered. Yes, salute to Shabazz. Diabolical. Now we're seeing why. Remember, the Democrats in 2022 put out a statement saying they were not for reparations. All of a sudden, you had some Democrats make a 180 turn once they lost the election. But they didn't make a full 180 turn, did they? No. They made a 90-degree turn. And they tossed in a bunch of diaspora-specific language and called it a reparations bill. It ain't got nothing to do. It is nothing like the reparations bill that I authored. That up and down through my reparations bill, you see American freedmen, or you see foundational Black Americans, and all throughout the reparations bill, those two terms are used interchangeably throughout my whole reparations bill. In their bill, they're all diaspora centered. Cory Bush, and what is her name? Ayanna Pressley, when they came with that reparations now plan or whatever, that bill, remember, they said for the descendants of Africans. So now it's making a lot more sense. Why the hell these folks have been talking like they want to do reparations, but they're trying to include the diaspora or call us descendants of Africans. This is something that we have to make sure everyone who is foundational Black American understands. This has been a scam from day one. This has been a scam ever since we fought, and maybe we shouldn't have fought for it, but ever since we fought for the immigration bill after the civil rights bill. This has been the plan, to bring in people to look like us, but don't have our ties. And our elders was calling it out a long time ago. Hell, in the early, freaking 80s, 90s, we had Dr. Claude Anderson going around here beating the drum, trying to warn us of these things. And unfortunately, our elders were dead set on being asleep. However, more and more, as time goes by, more and more of us are waking up. More and more of us are hearing the Black grassroots, and more and more of us are adopting Black grassroots talking points. And more of us are starting to understand what our good brother and the grandfather, if not the father, of delineation was saying. So, family, I'm going to end with this clip here, because when I say scam Africanism is dead, and this is the nail in the coffin, I meant that. The disrespect will not stand. And the fact that these god dang African mother effers, I'm sorry, I can't think of nothing clever as of right now, because god dang it, I'm still damn pissed off. The fact that these mother effers are running around here trying to champion our reparations claim when y'all got nothing to do with it, and nobody in the diaspora have anything to do with it. America owns one group of people reparations, and that's foundational Black Americans. So I'm glad this situation with Essence Fest happened, the Essence mess, because that got a lot of people on their Sherlock Holmes tip. And we probably wouldn't have known none of this until it was already too late. But let's go here, family, because yo homeboy, Dr. Kubar, has been going across the continent running his damn mouth again. And I want to end on this because the most egregious situation we just went through, I want to hammer the point home with this jackass. Excuse me, let me reframe that. This low logic individual. No, fuck that. The whole goddamn demonetization is gone anyway on this shit. The jackass. Let's let the jackass speak.
Black are going to start claiming it again. It's the same thing in America. You see your brothers and sisters over there psychologically confused, some of them, not most, but some, talking about they Native Americans. I'm a Cherokee Indian. Your ass is crazy. They won't even let you on a damn Indian reservation. I'm a Cherokee. I'm a Choctaw. I'm a Seminole. And all those Indian tribes used to own Black slaves. Nigga, shut up.
And this is why Black Americans, especially Black Americans with indigenous roots, we cannot fuck with Pan-Africans. We cannot fuck with Pan-Africans because the shit that Dr. Omar, whatever the fuck he want to be, he's not even a real fucking doctor. The shit that he spewed is so fucking anti-Black American. It's so anti-Black American. It's such a fucking ignorance to just totally disregard the people that was on this land thousands of years before Africans were brought to fucking America. It is so fucking disingenuous for a man who's not even from Africa, a man who don't have no African fucking relatives, no African ancestors, a man who hasn't built the school that he said he's been building for damn near almost 10 to 15 years in America. It's so disingenuous for a man who does not take care of his children, a man whose children are online right now in 2025, telling y'all that this man is a fake, a fraud. He doesn't even take care of us. He never did. It's so disingenuous for this man to go the fuck to Africa and to preach some bullshit like that and put down Black Americans here in the fucking States. That is crazy. There are so many fucking Black Americans with Indian ancestry who have paperwork to prove it. There are so many documents that you guys can go fucking research. You guys can go to the Library of Congress and pull these fucking documents where Black American who was once Indian was fucking reclassified to Negro. These are not fucking lies. These are fucking facts that everybody has access to. But the difference is y'all don't choose to do the fucking work or the research. Then you have people like Dr. Umar who goes out and perpetuate the same bullshit that the fucking trolls on the internet perpetuate. And mind you, he's in South Africa preaching to a lot of illiterate. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but we know that South Africa, the education system, everything there is terrible. He's there preaching to people whose minds aren't there because they're in their own situation in South Africa. They're not going to go and do the fucking research. These people are going to believe what the fuck he say because he's speaking it so passionately. And that's what I don't like about these type of fucking niggas. Dr. Umar is a coon. I really believe Dr. Umar is being fucking paid by the fucking government, to be honest. He is a fucking Pan-African agent. This video pissed me off so bad because it is so disrespectful. Not everybody from America came from Africa. There wasn't even a lot of Africans who fucking came to the United States during the trade slave. Most of them went to the fucking Caribbeans. This shit is just crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy and it's fucked up. Watching this video was so cringe.
Family, when I say it's up to us, I mean that. When I say we ain't got no friends, I mean that. When I say it's very imperative that we literally put foot to ass, I mean that tenfold too. Family, I ain't got to worry too much because look at all we've done in these past few years. Look at all we've been able to do. We've turned this whole damn system upside down. Right now, the system's on his back like a roach kicking his feet, trying to get back on his feet. And they're trying everything in their power to get us back on these plantations, and it's not working. They try implementing every agenda, and it falls short because no weapon formed against us will prosper. Not as the people of the Most High. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Our ancestors have been calling out from the grave, screaming at us, hey, we're proud of you. Keep up the good work. You do your part, we'll do our part. And these people are starting to learn that even though they think they have the numbers, because none of them have the numbers, not the Caribbeans, not the Africans, and not the Nabisco. And some people would say, well, there's over billions of people on the continent of Africa. I don't give a damn. Those people are splintered, which means that it's not a billion people. You got some 100,000 over here. You got some 100,000 over there. You got another 100,000 over there. They don't have the numbers. FBA is the only one that's been on code, stay on code, and we represent for our people because that is our culture. These folks, their culture is selling people out left and right. That's all we've known them for. And guess what? In the words of Wesley Snipes, that's all they're ever going to be known for. There's only one foundational Black Americans, and they're only ever going to be one foundational Black Americans. Not one as of one person, but one as of we are one, and we are one group, and we move in solidarity. So I'm so happy that Richie Lou purchased Essence and did what they did. I'm so happy that he hired that Kenyan woman to run it. I'm so happy. Salute Drew Laston. Thank you for your Cash App donation, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution. I'm so happy because without that, we wouldn't be here today. I say this all the time. People say, "Hey, man, you had a very interesting life. If you can go back and change anything, what would it be?" And I would tell them all the time, it would be nothing, because everything that I've accomplished and everything I've done, everything, every part of my being is me today because of everything I went through in the past. And I'm completely satisfied with who I am. That's what FBA is. FBA stands strong in our past. FBA stands strong in our present. And you better bet your bottom damn dollar we stand strong in our future. And if you don't believe, anybody can FAFO. And the more you fuck around, by logic, the more you will find out. But with that being said, family, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm and get this message out to the ears that need to hear, which is a lot of ears. And if you have not done so yet, please click that link in the description, go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for real reparations. Salute to our brother, Mentor OG. Thank you for being here, family. It's good to see you. Family, I'm standing on the square that I can't be pushed off. And so are you. And because we are standing on the square that we can't be pushed off of, you can't push us left, you can't push us right, both sides will have to crumble. Both sides will have to take a knee and come with hat in hand. There's only so much that you can do that the universe will allow before that ABK come right back around and slap people on the back of their neck with a wet hand. And trust me, this is the Renaissance. You're going to be seeing things that's never been seen before. You're going to be seeing us do things that has never been done before, like we always do. And you're going to see us, just knocking them left and right. Like a Mayweather, like an Ali, like a Foreman. When I say that no longer will we allow these people that claim to be representatives to go out and do stuff behind our backs like this, I mean that with full authority of the Most High. I'm working on some cease and desists right now, family. I'm working on a couple of projects right now. As a matter of fact, I'm proud to tell you guys, my love child that I've been working on for over 5 years, my book called Willie Lynch 2.0, Upgrading the System. I just finished that book in the dead of night last night. Just finished that book. And if you're not aware of what the Willie Lynch theory is, it's different things that they used or different ways they segregated or separated the foundational Black Americans. Once I'm done editing this book, I can't tell you how satisfying it will be to finally give it to the family. It took me 5 years to put this book together because I wanted to be very thorough in what I was saying and how I was presenting it. And I can't wait to present it to you, family. Much love to Still. Appreciate you. Thank you for your super chat, your super sticker. Sorry. I appreciate you. Your contribution is blessed tenfold. Family, it's our time. My brother Beatzilla says this all the time, so I'm going to give a shout out to him. And I'm going to use one of his ending lines. Babylon is falling. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? Because I know damn well I'm in the backyard with a shovel. I can dig it all day. Also, family, I got to make one more announcement before we get up out of here. Salute to each and every one of you, because I was made aware that I hit another milestone. Apparently, I passed over 75,000 views. So I got to give nothing but love to each and every one of you who made that possible. And each and every one of you who liked, shared, put my broadcast on your timelines. I got to thank you all. And it's just the beginning. Salute to our sister Azaria Ben Yuda. Thank you for being here, family, and I appreciate you. Much love to you. Family, this is our time. This is our time. Let's not let anybody forget that. But with that being said, family, I hope I gave you guys everything that I said I was going to do. Like I said, I feel like this is one of the most important broadcasts that I've done, because it's easy to just throw out Democrats. It's a little bit different to be able to actually put faces to names and names to faces and policy to names. Now we can move accordingly. But much love. Thank you all for being here. I'd like to thank all my mods, my members. Thank each and every one of you. Thank everybody who's donated, whether on Super Chat, Cash App, Super Sticker. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to everybody who's not in the chat, but who's watching this. And thank you to everybody who's not here right now, but they'll watch this on the replay, gang. Much love to each and every one of you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And with that being said, families and friends, the doors of the church are now closed. Peace, family.
My grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigga.
I know that the government, whatever, can't stand us black people. He's doing everything in the world to make black man be extinct. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Us black people going to survive. Yeah. So fuck everybody. I'm out.